technology has really changed. It's extremely advanced. And it has its pluses, but it also has its negatives. And those negatives affect our health. By doing so much on the computer, as well as looking down on our smartphone for prolonged periods of time, hours after hours after hours, we're putting a tremendous amount of load on the discs within our neck, mid-back, and lower back area. And the accumulation of forward head posture causes those ligaments to stretch. It causes instability of those vertebrae. The discs start to degenerate as well as the joints. This leads to osteoarthritis, degeneration within the joints that can affect the nerves. And the nerves that come out of the neck can affect many different areas. This can cause neck pain, headaches, visual problems, pain in the shoulder blades, into the chest, or tingling and numbness down the arms into the hands and fingers. And if you're spending those long hours in this position, which many of us do every single day, you need to make sure you start sitting correctly. So it's extremely important that when you spend time sitting, you must be sitting in the right ergonomic chair that is best for your spine. And when you look at the picture on the left, you can see there's no support for his neck, his mid-back and shoulders, his lower back, as well as his forearms and his wrist. And when we look at the man on the right, we can see that his head, his ears, his shoulders are fairly lined up, as well as his back, his hips going at 90 degrees, as well as his knees at 90 degrees. And here's the pelvis, the sacrum, as well as the nerves that come off the lumbar spine, which are in yellow. The lumbar spine, looking at it from the side, should have a lordotic curve, a C-shaped curve. And when you're sitting, this is the front of you, this is the back of you, you should always maintain and support that lumbar curve. That helps support and take away irritation off these nerves and the muscles, as well as stabilizing the ligaments so these joints and the lower back can stay stabilized and strong. And the more support and stability that we can support that lower lumbar back when we sit down, this has a direct relationship with the rest of the spine that sits above. And without good support to the lower back, you're going to get this forward rounded shoulders, forward head posture, which will continue to stress those joints and ligaments, eventually causing more degeneration and eventually pinching on those nerves. And having a head support behind you, when adjusted correctly, will be a tremendous asset for your health. And everything is connected from our neck into our shoulders. And if we're spending lots of time when we sit with our arms out in front of us, if we're texting, if we're on our computer, whatever you may be doing, this is going to cause the upper trapezius muscles to continue to contract. The muscles will pull behind the skull, which can cause headaches or even visual problems. So when you're sitting in a chair, it's always best to have armrests that will take stress and pressure away from the neck. And if you're sitting incorrectly for long periods of time, the discs in our lower back area can start to compress and inflame. They can bulge and affect those nerves. This can cause pain into the buttocks area, as well as sciatica, which is a pain, a tingling, or a numbness that can go all the way down the back of the leg, all the way to the foot. And I want to share with you something extremely important that very few people ever address when it comes to posture. We always think as posture and pain. But when we're sitting in a poor posture with rounded shoulders, we're putting a tremendous amount of restriction on our lungs. And it is medically proven that slumped poor posture significantly reduces lung capacity. It limits the amount of oxygen getting to the lungs, which limits the amount of oxygen that gets to the cells, tissues, glands, and organs of our body. And I'd like to share with you a simple study that came out in PubMed in 2018. The study was the effect of upright and slouch sitting postures on the respiratory muscle strength in healthy young males. And the final conclusion of that study showed that prolonged slouch positions induce breathing disorders and affect the surrounding structures, including the heart and the phrenic nerve. And for those who do not know what the phrenic nerve is, that is a nerve that controls the diaphragm. The diaphragm is what controls our breathing. And also be aware that bad posture slows digestion. So if you've just eaten a meal and you're sitting up and you're slouching forward, that can lead to indigestion, heartburn, acid reflux, burning back up into the chest area, because that poor posture is putting a tremendous amount of stress on the lower esophageal sphincter. And I highly recommend that if you spend lots of time in a seated position, give your muscles, joints, ligaments, and nerves a rest. You need to change positions frequently. Get up, walk around, stretch, bend, or lay back, whatever feels comfortable for your body. So I hope this video was helpful for you. Please share it with your friends and family. And remember, posture is everything. Make it a great day. I'm Dr. Alan Mandell.